Hello, captains. It's me, TONIK TZW, here in the Tier 8 French battleship, the Republique. And we've called this one Flanking in a Frenchy. And I really was shaking my head at the smooth brains in this game, especially to destroy your players. This is how I've got my Republique set up, for those of you that want to know. We've got Aiming Systems Mod 1. And then we quickly switch over, and we've got Steering Gears Mod 2. And I'll explain why in a little while. There we've got Concealment System Mod 1. And last but not least, we've got Main Battery Mod 3 with an epic upgrade to give us a reduction. We're running Robert Jaujard because he gives us the AP pen multiplier. And then we've got a Flammable Cannoneer. Moving on, we've got Gyrating Drill Bits, which makes our battleship a little bit slower, but then we've got Marksmanship to reduce our dispersion. Then we've got Reaching Out XSL for a little bit extra main battery range. And yes, I do still run Will to Rebuild. As inspirations, we've got Charles Madden to give us traverse speed and reduced reload. And then we've got Azulian Colorado to give us some extra grouping and some more reduced reload. And this is why that is down to 21.1 seconds and 20.2 kilometers. And the reason I like playing this as well is because I've got a good AA defense. There is a full division there on red team. And looking at it, there's some big ships out there as well. A couple of destroyers, so it could get tasty. But let's get into this game. Now, as I said, this ship is not the fastest. I'm trading 10% of my speed for one of the captain skills there. But we can still move around this map fast enough. Not perhaps quite a crazy flanker, but we are going to play a hard flank and push on this one because red team are going to give it up. And you should never give up your flank. You should never abandon a flank. If you can't push the flank yourself, you should always try to stop the other team from pushing on the flank. Now, I'm telling that Kagero that I'm going to support him, but I'm going to turn out. I'm going to use my range. Now, I do say battleships shouldn't sit at the back of the map. It's fine if you're in like a Yamato and you're saying, yeah, but I've got like 21 kilometers range. But you've got to be able to hit something at that distance like this Pommern, who is at 18.9. I'm going to put a salvo out there. I'm immediately spotted, and that's obviously by the Pommern. But he looks like he is running away. We get 3 overpens, and I found that was a big problem in this game. I think I could have done a lot more damage. But I was getting a lot of over penetrations. Now, with a captain skill like Jaujard, where he's increasing your damage penetration, you can't actually dial it down from what you've got him upgraded to. And there again, we get 1 hit and 3 over penetrations. Frankly, ridiculous. I'd love to know where they're going through. They must be slicing through him like butter. So I'm going to have to work a little bit at this and work out what the best range is to get the maximum damage out of these guns. Looking at this, we aren't contested on the cap. The Kagero looks like he's out there on his own. I am spotted, which tells me that there is something in line of sight of me. Because obviously with the new update, there's no carrier in this game, so I'm not plain spotted by a carrier, but I am spotted by something else. We're just trying to see what this Pommern is doing. We're going to dial back the sight a little bit and put a couple more shots out there. Now, the majority of the team are clustered in the middle of the map on B. The Loyang is going to go in and take that cap. He is in division. He is supported. That's another good thing to do, to support your destroyers when they're on a cap, as I have done. Now, when this Kagero takes the cap, he's going to ping this right side of the map to let me know that there is a destroyer there. And there it is. It's a Z23. So now I'm going to do my bit about supporting this Kagero. We're going to go full salvo there. We take just over, I'd say just over half, almost 2/3 of his health. But the Kagero's got his torps on. This fast reload means that Z23 even if he hadn't been taken out by those torpedoes, would probably be dead with my next salvo. Now, it looks like I'm going to kill some seagulls there because the island indicator popped up to say I was going to hit the land, but we do land some more hits on that Pommern. And we're going to skip forward a little bit because I've got to very slowly transition down this flank. What I'm trying to do is keep myself out of range from being broadside to everything that is across there in the center or the left side of the map. So we get spotted by the Pommern. He's decided that he is going to run. I've got AP loaded and we get a salvo off there. We don't really do a lot. Musashi behind an island, can't get shots on him, guarantee. Looking at the minimap, he's broadside and that would have been a beautiful shot. But we're going to go on this Pommern again. He's kind of away. He's trying not to give me too much of an angle. And he takes a little bit of health off us, but not enough to be concerned about. And we've switched to high explosive. Fairly new to the game. It's hard to land good hits on a ship with armor piercing when they are well angled. So switching to high explosive means that I can try and get a fire on this guy, and with that we can continue to tick his hit points down. There we go, we land a single fire. Now another thing to remember is that a few updates ago, in fact quite a while ago now, when they nerfed Will to Rebuild, a lot of players switched to fight fire with fire. Now that guy has damage controlled a single fire and he probably could have let that one tick. I've got an eye on the left side of the screen there. There's two ships pulled out from behind those islands, so I'm wary of being a little bit broadside to them, but we're going to go on the Pommern again. He's trying to run, but the range on these guns is huge. As I said, it's 20.2 kilometers. And there is another fire, and that is ticking. P-Bag, hiding behind the island. He's decided to pull right behind the island, so we're going to go on that Lenin. We've still got HE loaded. The reason I'm going to HE on the Lenin as well and not switching to armor piercing is that the Russian battleships have a limited number of damage controls, and we're actually going to land a fire on that Lenin as well. Now, if he damage controls that, then it means that he's ripe for another fire and picking up by somebody else on the team. This Pommern is still running away from us. He's still burning there, so he damage controlled that first fire, and that second one is ticking on him permanently. We land, I think that's what, 2 shells, no fire again, but we switch back to armor piercing because we've got a broadside Le Foudre. And just have a quick look at that P-Bag ration. He's still behind an island. And we are going to hit this guy with a number of shells, but the majority of our shells are going to be over penetrations again. So we've got to switch our attention back to the Pommern. There is a ship out there. Is it a Montana or a Missouri? I can't quite remember. There we go. It's a Montana. P-Bag is sneaking around the corner. We're going to go for one more salvo against that Le Foudre. It looks like we took some health off him, and it looks like he's taken a battering from elsewhere. Because I've fired my guns, still detected, Pommern decides he wants to have a go, and I know that turning away, I'm opening myself up. There we go. Everybody puts a salvo at me, but I can afford to trade those hit points, because Mr. Pommern here has put his fires out, or they have burned out, and we are going to land another fire on him, which he is immediately going to damage control. Strangely, we're on 115,115 damage. Now that means that he has used his damage control party. He's still in range. So one more salvo of high explosive out towards them. It's a little bit of a spray and pray, hoping that we're going to get a fire. We don't get one, we actually get 2, and then we get the kill. So he probably would have been better off letting that first fire burn a little bit longer. Now you see me pinging the map here, kind of saying, you know, look, we are losing the capture points. Their destroyer is running around taking the capture points. Can somebody please contest it? As good a job as this Kagero did at the start of the game in taking the cap, indicating the Z23, and then taking him down, he is doing one of the worst things possible that a destroyer can do. He is chasing a battleship across the map, trying to torpedo it from behind. And that, frankly, is one of the dumbest things that you can do in a destroyer. Because the ship that you're trying to torpedo from the rear has tons of warning that those torpedoes are coming. Let's say your torpedoes are 60 knots, and he is going away from you at 30 knots, then your torpedoes are only closing at a rate of 30 knots, which means he has twice as long to react to them. This Kigero would have been better off turning straight in and heading for the capture point. The Loyang, he is in division with another ship, so I think they're just working together. But the other destroyer from Red Team is running around completely unchallenged. And this P-Bag is using his strong front end, thinking he can bow tank me. But at this range, my shots are dropping in from the top. And so we're going to continue to do damage to him. And he's eventually going to realize in a moment that he's not going to win this battle. So he's going to go dark. There we go. He's gone. I'm going to push in because he's nearly dead. I know that this Montana is out there as we lose another ship. I think that might have been the perfect 10. The Loyang is on his own now. He doesn't have his division friends with him. I'm trying to keep my bow in towards that Montana. I'm trying to keep my guns to the left, looking for this P-Bagration. There's also a full health, pretty much, Siegfried out here, who I haven't seen yet. I'm kind of pinging the map. You'll see me bring up the map, ping the map, say, you know, look, go for the caps, go for the caps, go for the caps. Because Red Team are pulling 6 points on the cap for every 3 points that we are. And it is obvious that Red Team's destroyer is now on Charlie cap, which means that A and B are wide open. So with 2 destroyers in the game, they should be pushing those capture points. And here you can see my frustration. I can't actually ping the map anymore. There is the Siegfried. He is pushing through. You know, he was unspotted until now. I haven't seen him at all in the game. But here we go. We're going to try and put some shots onto him. That will show everybody where we are. Sorry, it's a Minnesota, not a Montana. I don't know why I said Montana earlier. I can't even remember even if the Montana is in the game. But there we go. He's put a salvo at me. We're going to go front turrets only and put... Oh no, we've angled enough to get both turrets on there. And then the Kronstadt realizing... Not the Kronstadt, the P-Bagration. I need to get my ships right today. He decides that as I'm broadside, he's going to have another chip at me. It looks like he's healed up. He's in reverse. Bow tanking in reverse. But it's not going to work at this range, Sunshine. You need to learn to do something different. There is more than one thing that you can do with that ship. He loses a gun, which I think he's got 2 on the front and 1 on the back. I couldn't remember, but he's lost 1 front one. And look, he's reversing, he's going to angle. I think he's going to go for 2 turrets. That is going to be absolutely fatal for him. The Siegfried is getting absolutely clattered. He's going to disappear from the game shortly, much like the P-Bagration just did. I don't know what happens with the DD. He's still running round, but it leaves the Ostergotland and the Minnesota. Now, between the 2 destroyers, one of them should be near one of those caps and on it, because we are at risk now of losing this game on points because Red Team control all 3 caps. The only way we could win if we lose a ship now is to basically kill the rest of Red Team. There is the Minnesota. I misjudged this one here because although it looked like he slowed down, I think he does put his engines into full forward. There we go. And it just lands on his stern. So we've got to turn into these shells and he gets 1 off the bow, a little bit of damage. And look, the Kagero is sailing straight past Bravo Cap instead of sailing into Bravo Cap. And I'm thinking, what the hell is going on here? I know the game is drawing to a close, but if we lose a ship, We have lost the game. Get on the caps. Stop red team earning points. They've both decided that they want to go after the Minnesota, and you're going to see some of the worst torpedoes in the world here, because he's got a destroyer to his front, he's got a destroyer to his rear, and basically both of them are going to completely miss. They're relying on me to spot him. I think the Loyang is anyway, because he sat in a smoke screen spamming HE. We're up to 193,000 damage. I'm thinking, can I get one more salvo on and break through 200k? I already know that this is a new damage record, a new personal best for me, but we get next to nothing off that last salvo. We turn into him, and the game ends. So after all of that, 197,309 damage, we only get 2 kills. But we do pick up the high caliber, and I worked out that my entire damage was around 37% of the red team hit points. But we get top of the board with 2,710 base XP. So a little bit slower play on the battleships, but I think we played it well. We pushed red team round, and if you like that one, then I'll stick the battleship playlist on this one, Battleship Row, and you can click the link and watch one of those. Don't forget, you can like and subscribe, and if you want to, you can donate or become a member of the channel. Until next time, take care. Goodbye.